Okay.
All right.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay, we'll start again. Wait, so should I like introduce, since I'm going first, then should I say like the hi, like this is our project kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, are you,
Okay.
yeah. If you're
because I
doing
forgot.
the first
I'm like, shit, I'm first. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, you'll say Ashley, and then I'll do mine, then Michelle, then Tim, and then you'll wait. Then Tim kicks it off, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I was like, oh, but I'm going first, so should I say, or should
Yeah.
I just say? Whoa, what's that sound? Okay.
Yeah, you should probably say something like, "We are Group 4," and then I'm Ashley Lamb. Whatever.
Okay,
you want to
sounds
say.
good. Okay, guys, redo. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
Hi, we are Group 4. Our team consists of myself, Ashley. I currently work for Boeing, supporting the wing build on our 737 line.
And I am Jared O'Hagan. I'm the supply chain supervisor at Qualitrol Beaverton, supporting both shipping and purchasing.
I'm Michelle Samples. I currently work for Boeing, and I'm on the Structures Strategy team.
I'm Tim McCandlish, and I also work for Boeing as a contracts procurement agent. And we are a consulting group specializing in aerospace that has been contracted by Boeing to help them with their forecasting and inventory control methods. So a little history about Boeing. Boeing is the world's largest aerospace company and manufacturer of commercial jetliners, defense, space, and security systems. The company last year reported $93 billion at the end of... Let me start that over real quick. A little history about Boeing. Boeing is the world's largest aerospace company and manufacturer of commercial jetliners, defense, space, and security systems. In the end of fiscal year 2017, the company reported $93 billion in profits and is the largest U.S. exporter. Annually, Boeing procures over 783 million parts for its complex supply chain. Boeing operates globally, supporting direct jobs, supplier operators, and technology centers. Boeing operates in all 50 states, and in 2016, paid more than $45 billion to more than 13,000 businesses and supported over 1.3 million supplier-related jobs. We had the pleasure of interviewing Itsuko Day, who is a manufacturing operations analyst / supply chain analyst at Boeing, who has over 35 years of supply chain experience, including outside of Boeing. Our research included a SWOT analysis, and the key takeaways from the SWOT analysis pertain to the weaknesses that Boeing had as standard parts have a high dependence on suppliers and pose an equally high risk in manufacturing production schedules. One missing part can shut down the line. The opportunities for Boeing are bountiful, as Boeing is unique in that they know demand years out because of their backlog of airplane orders. One would think that forecasting for standards and the inventory control associated with standards would be an easily managed fact, but this is far from what we discovered. A little about our research. Boeing's current forecasting approach and inventory control processes for standards, which are small parts including washers, nuts, and bolts, is not efficient and is inaccurate. The impacts that these issues compound upon result in delays in production, a firefighting mentality, high costs of managing, and daily shortages. The scope of our research includes commercial airplanes and excludes military derivatives. We research through academic sources and drew on our collective professional experience from Boeing and Fortive, including our key takeaways from the on-site interview with It's Code Day. Ashley, you're on mute.
Wait, this is your slide.
I just did that slide.
Oh, but I didn't change it. I thought you were still on the other one. Shit.
That's okay. I mean, we're just using the audio, so it's all good.
Oh, okay. Is that fine, Jared? Like the timing doesn't matter if we're not.
You're on mute, Jared.
I know, that's why I was giving the thumbs up.
Sorry, dude, I couldn't see it.
Where? Oh, yeah, I can't see it. I can't see the faces. Okay, so that's fine then. We don't need to.
No, we can just go skip the slide, go to the next slide.
Oh, okay, cool. Because I was like, wait, are we still on the slide?
I think the slides are just for our talking points so we can have stuff to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Question though. So do we want to do like transitions to each other, like verbally, or no?
No, we don't have to. I can fade it out and fade it in to have it be like Tim can kind of fade out. If it warrants it, Tim can fade out and I can fade you in talking about current state forecasting methods.
Okay.
That'd be dope. Yeah, I like that fade idea.
Stay using the fade.
Okay, that sounds. Bella, get down. Hold on. Can you actually take this out there? Sorry, I'm filming my video. Go on, Bella. Go. Go. Okay. All right, guys. Can you hear me? Am I on mute?
No, you're good.
Okay, I'm good. Okay. Okay, so moving into our current state, we were able to analyze Boeing's current forecasting methods, really trying to understand where their challenges are so that we can put together recommendations to help improve their forecast accuracy. From working with our client, some of the issues we encountered are that standards don't require full part numbers by engineering. So this is a really big issue for our client. Currently, engineering allows manufacturing to utilize various standards as long as they meet tolerance requirements as set on the specifications. But this creates a lot of challenges for when trying to accurately forecast and get a clear understanding about data as well as part usage. Additionally, without a documented standards, this leads to a lot of variation in the build and creates unpredictable demand, which, as we can tell, makes it challenging to forecast. Some advantages that our client does have is that the current forecasting model uses well-preserved historic data. Our client, due to their compliance requirements, they keep very well-preserved data about what parts are used for production. So for hard parts, for example, that's an advantage when trying to forecast. But since we don't require that data to be kept about standards, creates a lot of challenges. So for our systems approach, really talking to, as Tim talked about, with the manufacturing operations analyst, also a supply chain analyst. Some of the challenges that they are met with is that they pull a lot of data from multiple systems. So the current process is very manual and they spend a lot of excess time sifting to programs that are often not integrated. There's also a lot of challenges, as I mentioned, with not having full part numbers called out. Makes, like I said, very complex. So it just adds a lot of waste into the current system. And then once these analysts compile all of their required data, they then utilize their internal ERP system to place orders based also on a backlog of demand, which is scheduled many years out. So we're going to move into some of the recommendations that we are pitching for our client. So starting off with working to improve their forecasting, we're really recommending a tailored implementation plan that varies from other strategies, such as forecasting for hard parts or for high dollar value parts. The first phase of this implementation plan will really require manufacturing to work cross-functionally with engineering. we propose that they put a team together to work with engineering and update all of their specifications to include standards on the bill of materials. By doing so, this is really going to alleviate a lot of the challenges that our client faces with forecasting. We also recommend that their analysts forecast in real time rather than the 4-month forecasting updates that they currently do. Additionally, we also have some recommendations to improve their inventory control processes. Michelle will go over those recommendations shortly. But one thing that she'll touch on is trying to utilize scrap data, and that specifically is going to help enable accurate forecasting. Okay, so with that, I will hand it over to Michelle, who will talk to you about inventory control.
All right, so for inventory control, we really want to make sure that the shop is stocked and has everything that they need to do their jobs. We also want to make sure that we're ordering enough and have the right information to make the right decisions to meet the customer demand, make sure that our production line runs smoothly, prevent stockouts, take advantage of the ordering cycle, and minimize losses. One thing that Boeing does is that they do have vendor managed inventory with some 3PLs. And really the demand is the problem sometimes and not necessarily the inventory control. However, that being said, Boeing does find itself in situations where they do have empty bins or lost parts. And a lot of this is due to lack of visibility of where parts are and where they're traveling. Another thing is on the shop floor, sometimes we have scrapped parts. For example, if we scrap 5 parts on the floor in the shop to get 1 successful part, our analysts aren't aware when they're placing the orders that 5 of them have been scrapped. So the lack of the real-time visibility makes it a real challenge, but it's also driven by some of the forecast problems. For some of our recommendations, we really want to utilize the 3PLs in a new sense where they're not just ordering and holding our inventory, but they're also managing it and really understanding the forecast data and having that full circle when they're delivering us the product to Boeing. We really want to establish some minimum parts that are being shipped and end some of the ambiguity that we see happening. Another great idea was a standard sorting machine. So if there's leftovers on the floor after parts are installed, they can just pop them into the machine and it's automatically sorted. We can put those back on the shelf for reuse, and we can cut down some of the costs there. Safety stock on hand is also one area that could be improved just to make sure that there aren't stockouts. And utilizing a dynamic Kanban system. We really want to make sure that a system is put in track to keep track of all of the inventory, utilizing more reliable forecast data, understanding what our lead times are, estimating what our holding costs are for inventory, and that's where we think having the 3PLs involved will really help. And just a classification system for the inventory items so we can find everything when it's needed. Bottom line is if the productivity of the inventory assets are improved, then the bottom line to our customers will also be improved.
Okay, my turn, I guess, huh? I always get super nervous right before I start presenting. I'm glad that we're able to edit this presenting thing so I can take a minute to
Yeah, it does take some of the pressure off.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I know how I'm gonna transition. I also have to hear like what Michelle said, etc. But
you got it, Big Daddy.
So, see, I'm already doing it. Hold on. Just give me 1 second.
It's okay. I'm doing it too. I'm like, oh no, I forgot to say stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we could always redo it, you guys too. I feel like sometimes
Oh,
the second
yeah.
time is a lot
Well, so
better.
far we're good. I think Michelle's was good, Ashley's was good, and Tim's was good. So we're
Yeah,
we're
I was
okay,
just
right?
kind
So
of
now I
throwing
need
in
to-
the example about the modeling it after the sealants, but I don't think we need that.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So
So far,
I'll
so
be
good.
covering what?
Okay, everyone go on mute.
Sorry, I'm muting it now. We got this, guys.
So I'll be taking a deeper dive into our recommendation surrounding dynamic Kanban. So why Kanban? Convoying. So I'll be taking a deeper dive into dynamic Kanban. So one of our significant recommendations that'll help improve some of our other recommendations, including the sorting, the standards, let me start over again. This is embarrassing. I'm going to mention.
It's called a standard reclamation machine, if you wanted to know.
No, I can't use that because then people will know that you already have one.
No, I think that's what they're called.
Oh,
Just say sorting machine. That's
Sorting
Okay.
machine sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
okay. I'm going to do it live. Okay. So I'll be
Fuck it,
taking
I'm
a
doing
deep.
it live. Sorry.
Okay. You good, Tim? You good? Okay. So I'll be taking a deeper dive into dynamic Kanban, one of our recommendations. I'm started. Damn it. Okay. So I'll be taking a deeper dive into one of our recommendations, dynamic Kanban. So why Kanban? Kanban provides significant inventory control in the fields of both inventory optimization, so right-sizing the inventory to ensure you have the parts you need when you need them, provides visual control of inventory. So when a bin is nearing empty or the location is almost bare, the visual management can tell the story. Reduction of stockouts. Calculations and visual management cards safeguard against systemic stockouts due to ordering too late or not at all. Next slide. We progress the slide, Ashley. I'll just do it on this side. I'm going to edit that out. Thanks. So at the heart of the dynamic Kanban is a simple calculation. It's establishing what your average daily use is for a specific standard, and then multiplying that by the lead time from the supplier for the standard plus the safety stock established. And what safety stock is a calculated risk avoidance number based on the length of the established lead time. So it can help to cover gaps in transit delays, supplier delays, or small spikes in sales. Boeing normally doesn't have to deal with small spikes in sales, but it does have to deal with small spikes in usage, as Michelle had explained earlier, due to inaccuracy in bombs and overusage or lost parts on the floor. The calculation can also be enhanced by adding Z-score evaluation, so you can smooth out some of the peaks and valleys in the forecast to help maximize the Kanban bin size. So essentially, dynamic Kanban works off of the break a bin, turn it in mentality, or it can work off the two bin mentality, depending on what level of safety stock and what level of buffer you'd like to have in your organization. We recommend a break the bin, turn it in, so that the average daily usage is enhanced by the lead time plus the safety stock, and it'll cover any delays that you might have during that lead time with the safety stock. Some Kanban examples are shown on the next. Some examples of Kanban are the kitted Kanban quantity, which you see here in a picture, that is a bag with a card with all the pertinent information, including the Kanban size, the location of the parts, the part number, the supplier associated with those parts, and even the buyer who is responsible for ordering the parts and who would be your point of contact if there was an issue with the bin. The parts on order placeholder is a visual representation of the order that has been placed through the Kanban system that sits in the bin and lets an operator know the date that the parts were ordered and the part number associated with that order, and also who turned the bin in. So it provides ownership and accountability for the Kanban process at point of use. One of the key elements of dynamic Kanban is the visual management of Kanban and the visual management that it provides both the floor and anyone walking by that needs to learn the story. The goal of any visual management should be to tell the story within 3 seconds. Are we winning or losing? So some elements of a dynamic Kanban visual management board would be the inbound inventory, the past due orders, standard work reference, the buyer order fulfillment evaluation, new Kanban card signals, and the daily work would be a review and management of the past due items and informing buyers of any issues. So essentially, once the bin breaks, the place the card to be ordered in the to be ordered section, where either a shop floor liaison or a buyer comes by to pull the cards, place the orders, and then replace the cards on the days that they are due back in. The benefits of dynamic Kanban will enhance inventory control exponentially for Boeing on the shop floor.
As we discussed, there are multiple issues facing Boeing that our consulting company has discovered. Really, it all starts with engineering and having an accurate forecast that's going to drive inventory control methodology. As discussed, implementing a dynamic Kanban system into the inventory control practices will yield the best results for the Boeing company as they take on the challenge of accurately forecasting and accurately controlling their inventory for standards parts. Thank you for listening to us, and we look forward to our next assignment. Fuck, I don't know.
Hey, I have an idea, guys.
I think we need a new ending.
At the end of the video, I think we should do a bloopers section where we have all of our start overs and we messed this up just for fun.
I mean, that'd be a lot of fun if it didn't make Jared fucking work an extra hour on this shit.
It's true. It's true. Let me put it together and see what we have, because we have about 20 minutes that I need to pare down. And then it looks like I'm probably going to only need to find 3 more minutes of content. I think the video is going to be about 10 minutes total.
Okay.
Based on the notes that I took, and whether or not I redo my section. I do think we need another. I do think we need another sign off, though.
Okay.
I don't think we should say looking forward to our next assignment.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
I think it should have been, we look forward to watching your videos.
Or something along the lines of, we hope that our forecasting and inventory control recommendations work to enhance Boeing's position in the market, or something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's a good
All
one.
right.
Can you say something like that, Tim?
I'll try, man. I'll try to remember that.
Not that per se. I'm just saying that, like, something along those lines.
Verbatim.
All right, here, I'm going to take another shot at it. As discussed, Boeing faces many challenges in accomplishing their goal of forecasting accurately and accurately controlling the inventory for standard parts. Through accurate forecasting, hold on, let me try this again.
Tim,
As
you can
discussed-
probably just do the last part of it because he's already recorded the last one, which sounded pretty good, other than just like the last couple sentences.
Okay, well, I'll give it one more shot here. As discussed, Boeing faces many challenges to accomplish their goal of accurately forecasting standards and then controlling the inventory of said standards. Through thorough engineering updates to drawings and implementation of a dynamic Kanban system, we feel that Boeing will best position themselves to continue to succeed in the market for many years to come. We hope you enjoyed our video, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, you nailed it. That was perfect.
Nice.
Okay. So go ahead and upload that, and we'll take it from there. Send me the link.
We don't even need to edit that shit.
Oh man.
Good job, you guys.
Yeah, I think it's a good job. It's definitely better than the. I don't know about content wise, but it's better than the presentation of the other group.
Better than the what?
The presentation of the other group, I would say.
Oh, it is better? That's good.
Yeah.
You mean the talking points are better than theirs?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Like both you and Michelle and Tim all have a good way of presenting. I'm the loose one in that one.
Fair enough.
Man.
You did great.
We all nailed it.
You know, if this wasn't behind a screen or over headphones, I would do a lot better. I'm way better in a room where people are like engaged or looking at me.
Oh man, I'm opposite. I can give speeches all day to a computer.
Like I literally.
I just have to not think about it, because if I think that I'm presenting, other than just like talking to somebody and telling them about it, like that's the way I have to present, because otherwise I freak myself out.
Yeah, like presenting stuff on WebEx, man, I like nail that shit out of the park. But in person, when all these people are staring at me, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so nervous.
I'm like, just don't call it a presentation and just tell me I'm telling you about how inventory control works, and then I'm like, good.
Yeah. I had to give a training today about value stream mapping, and literally like there's always those couple engineers in the room who like to like pick and poke and ask like all these questions about something, and I'm just like, oh my god. You have to be nice because you're in front of people, but you want to just be like, shut the fuck up, sit down.
I have to participate in a value stream mapping Kaizen at the end of the month.
Oh nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, should be good.
It's like herding cats, you know.
We're doing the entire production cycle.
Oh, nice. We're doing the entire horizontal build line, so it's pretty interesting. But yeah. All right, guys. So Jared, just like let us know if you want us to go back and redo anything. I can do another link or whatever.
Yeah, we should be fine. Just go ahead and send me that link, and then I will